Now with us from Paris, France is Kim Hyojeong, the CEO and founder of NomadHer, which is a community for solo women travelers. Is that correct, Kim Hyojeong? Thank you for
Yes.
being here with us.
Thank you so much for your invitation.
It's so nice to see you.
Yeah, it's so great. And I didn't know, like, it's an amazing podcast, I think.
Really?
Oh, well, thank you so much. Because I was just thinking the same thing about your amazing website, and I've downloaded your app as well. But we're definitely going to talk about all this. So it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah. Now, before we get into it, I think for full disclosure's sake, I've known Hyojeong for like 10 years now. We haven't talked for a long time. I mean, briefly messages back and forth, but we used to work together at the Jeju Weekly. When you were an intern, you were there for how long? A year or so?
I think it was around 3-4 months, but very intensive. I went to every single conference, even like soccer game. I think we went to international like conservation of nature conference. So many things, so many crazy things happened.
Yeah, we worked really close together, right? Like all the time we were doing stuff together. But now you've become the CEO and founder and entrepreneur. I know you're super fancy.
Very cool.
Can you explain a little bit to us what NomadHer is?
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much. NomadHer, it's a community beyond the app for female globetrotters. And currently there are women coming from over 170 different countries.
Amazing.
So thank you so much. So our main really like vision is that we want to tell women that the world is so big and you can go out and you can travel wherever you want, because it's really based on my own solo travel experience. So that's what we do currently. Yes.
How long has this been? Oh gosh, I don't even know how when did you create this, and how long has it actually been active? If there was a time in between, you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, that's really interesting question, because the idea came back in 2018 during my study back in Paris, France. I was a student with zero money, so started NomadHer out of $100 US.
Wow.
We launched the app as somehow. And after 2 weeks, COVID happened. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's how every single story continues. And now we are.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
that's
such
really
a fascinating, I'm really excited to play around on the app, but I've already played around on your website. And I'm just like, wow, this is really, really cool. I'm an old school couch surfer. So I was a couch surfer for it'll give away my age if I tell you how long I've been a couch surfer, but it's been years. And I was the ambassador here in Jeju. I was the ambassador in Denver. So immediately, and I would say couch surfing sort of died with COVID, and they got bought out and other issues. But my heart started beating faster with excitement when I was playing around on your website. And immediately I was like, yeah, it's time to start traveling again. Like, I know it's not right now, but soon enough I will be traveling. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit like how it works? Because I was tempted to download the app, but not as like I'm not a woman. So I felt like that would be intrusive, and maybe I was really tempted to.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just because I want to see what it is and how it works. Okay. Tell us exactly like how this community works.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So at first, we have a strong verification system. It's not a discrimination. We just want to make sure that you are who you are. There's so many catfishing going on. Most of the women who are using NomadHer, they really appreciate there's not these weird, creepy people reaching out to them. We really want to make sure that this is a comfortable space for women. You can talk about everything, like traveling as a mother, traveling as a single woman, traveling with period, like traveling
everything.
With traveling as a 70-year-old grandmother. This is the place where you can talk about it. So we have 3 main functions where you can write your tips and stories from the perspective of being a female traveler.
That's the blog part, right?
That's the blog part.
That's the blog part. Okay.
Where you can talk about everything.
Yeah.
And then you can also find and search women based on which city and country other women are using. So starting from Colombia, like, I don't know, Barbados, and now in Jeju Island. And the last parts where I love to get help, and whoever is listening this podcast can join, is we love to organize a lot of online and offline meetups, because in the end, the whole purpose is connecting people. So
Absolutely.
that's what we,
Yeah,
And you have, speaking of meetups, we'll talk about, I have so much to say about your website. It's absolutely gorgeous. But speaking of meetups, one of the reasons we were having you on this podcast right about now is because you're going to be coming down and hiking, doing a little hiking with some women in Jeju. Is that correct?
yeah, so we were planning to do it.
Yeah.
We planned everything. People sign up, and then there was this like 대설주의보, so sort of like a big snow coming in Jeju Island.
It was big. It was big.
Yeah.
On the
So it
mountain
was
anyways, yeah.
canceled.
Oh, that's
But,
a shame.
Oh,
yeah,
but
but,
did you not? I thought I'm sorry if I misunderstood. Is there not a rescheduled time? I thought there was.
so we
Not
want
yet?
to redo it.
Okay.
And actually, we met so many incredible Korean female travelers. I mean, local women living in Jeju Island, who really want to be connected with other more international women living in Jeju Island.
Yeah.
So we
Oh,
want
that's
to
good to know.
organize a retreat festival. Yes, a lot
Is
of
there-
activity.
What countries are the most popular among female travelers, solo women travelers?
That's a great question, but it depends
Thank
on
you.
like where you're coming from.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't lie
exactly.
that Paris, Dubai, New York, Tokyo, like these typical like international cities still are very popular. But I think what women they would accept as a challenge or adventure is, for example, going to India alone, going to Latin America solo, going to Morocco solo.
Exactly. And I think this is a key point. And I know Daryl, we're probably going to talk a little bit more than you're going to talk, but I think that's a key point about NomadHer is because it is designed to reassure a female traveler or to connect them so that there's no hesitation like, oh, well, I don't have a partner. I don't have someone going with me. I should probably wait on this trip. I should probably wait to hike India. I should probably wait to go across Nepal until I have someone to go with me. I mean, these are thoughts that I've had throughout my life. I started traveling when I was very young. And back then I didn't have a lot of common sense and not a lot of fear. But as I've gotten older, these are things I think about all the time. It's not even like I don't want to be alone. It's safety purposes. And I think that's what's so great about this. So like if Daryl, what you're asking, like, so if there's just a country where I like, and Hyojeong was saying, like Morocco, like India, those places cause me to stop and think, ooh, is this the good time for it? So it's not so much, it's like, where do you think you want to go? It's so fascinating. Yeah. It's such a great tool to have.
The reason why I asked that question was because I noticed when I went to India for a couple months, I noticed that there were the majority of Koreans who were traveling were solo Korean women.
Wow.
Right.
Good.
A lot of them. Well, I mean, I didn't count them or anything, but because I went with my wife and she's Korean, and we went to like places that people like suggested online, and there's quite a few solo Korean women that we met there, and which I thought was such a fascinating thing that there were so many of them. So I was just curious of what places were like hotspots that I wouldn't expect.
Can I give you some interesting statistics? So according to TripAdvisor and also like booking.com and like all those sources, 80% of solo travelers are women. That's first thing. Second thing, the biggest solo travel market in the world is South Korea. So 93% of South Korean women, they wish to go solo traveling. And one of the biggest reasons is they feel it as so fulfilling and liberating experience.
That's amazing.
That's fascinating.
And that certainly has changed since I've lived here. I noticed more and more. There wasn't a lot. I mean, well, Korea is such a young country financially and, things like that. So nowadays, when I first moved here in 2012, there wasn't a lot of people traveling in general, not just females, but Koreans in general was. And then over the years, you can really start to see the shift in, the attitude, the ideology around traveling. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, international travel for Koreans wasn't really a thing until after the dictatorships, if I'm
absolutely
correct, right?
Yeah,
right.
But that's interesting, Zach, because it probably coincides with the other facts like Korean women are reluctant to or pushing off marriage longer, and they are having fewer children, and all these sort of
life decision
generational
choices.
generational things. So that's fascinating. Thank you for. I'm a big numbers guy for like stories and stuff. They really paint the picture for me. So I that's fantastic. Now, let's talk about Jeju a little bit, if you don't mind, since this is.
I love Jeju.
Yeah. What are some of the attractions or the draws to Jeju for solo women traveler?
So my whole team was in Jeju Island for the past couple of weeks because we wish to create a specific guides for women visiting Jeju as a solo female traveler. And what we have remarked interesting is there are a lot of like increasing numbers of yoga retreats, scuba diving program, or certain like let's say climbing indoor experience specifically dedicated to women. So that's what we have found interesting. And I think the main reason behind it's the place where you can be connected with the nature, but at the same time, you can really fully concentrating on yourself.
That's
so
true.
A lot of
yoga is really, especially. Yeah.
My wife is thinking of doing that because she's a yoga teacher, right? So she's looking into yoga studios.
Doing so many of my friends, even just local friends or coming down from Seoul, do a lot of yoga retreats on Jeju. It's so good. So when you said your team was here, I just want to ask a little bit more about how it relates to someone that wants to sign up to your website. Your team is here and they're doing, the research and stuff. And then do you just create separate groups that I'm like, well, I really want to know more about surfing with females, and I could just go on the website and look for that exact thing? Or how's this work?
So let's say someone is coming to Jeju Island. Right now, what people can do with NomhadHer is looking for local women currently living in Jeju Island.
Okay.
The interesting what we found out with NomhadHer members is, let's say, there are a lot of Korean women who want to come to Jeju Island, but they told us, you know what, even though I speak Korean and they speak Korean, but still I feel afraid to go solo traveling to Jeju Island. And they told us like, if I know someone still like local women, especially if I can hang around for having a dinner together, having drinks together, they'll be really useful. So you can be connected with local women living in Jeju Island. That's why I hope that a lot of people can join.
I think 100% you're going to get people to join for sure. I'm going to make sure of it. Don't you worry.
Are you making a book? Or what is it? Because I know that you did something similar with for Busan, right? With the Busan tourism organization there. Yeah, she's huge. Yeah. So what are you like? Is this going to be a physical book you're going to make about Jeju, or what will it be?
So that's our actually business planning too. That's how NomhadHer is making money, because a lot of people are asking us. So we usually partner with big cities and a big global marketing tourism organization. And what we propose to them is how solo female travel market is huge and why we need a dedicated travel guides. Because like what Alexis asked, people have different themes and different like purposes of traveling.
Yes, exactly.
Different interests. Some people love city life. Some people, they just want to go scuba diving and swimming. Some people, they really want to be totally disconnected. They want to medicate, like, I don't know, meditation, yoga without speaking in the middle of forest.
I like to do both. I like to involve myself in a drinking whirlwind. And then I like, when I go on vacation, I like to go, drinking and meet a million people and woohoo. And then the other half of the vacation, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I hope no one talks to me when I'm laying on this beach, sort of thing. So yeah, you could, there's just so much to get interested in.
Yes. So that's what we do. We make different themes. And what we did here in Jeju Island, we interviewed over, I think, 15 female only hostels and guest house in Jeju Island.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
We interviewed all those owners who started the female only guest house. We asked their personal story, why they started, why they come up with idea, what's so special about them. And it was really interesting perspective.
And are those are those going up on a blog, or that was just, you were just trying to do research?
So that will be published soon. And we have a special guides section within NomadHer. So
That's
if you
amazing.
download NomadHer, right now we have guides about Lisbon, I think Morocco, Seoul, New York, Paris. So we want to also specially make a Jeju section.
Ooh, that is so cool to hear. And just for our listeners to know, when you go to the blog, you're one of the cool things, I think it's in English, it's in French, and it's in Korean. So you're really taken care of in so many different, that's very accessible for so many people.
So what are some of the issues that Jeju has for female travelers? You kind of mentioned a little bit, like women reluctant to come down, but so what are some of the negatives about Jeju for female women travelers?
I know the answer. Public transportation. So if you're a solo female traveler, you're not traveling within groups. So it's quite like we would say it's not really cost efficient to rent a car and move around, especially if you're on solo traveling for a week. And a lot of people, they say, even our team members, she said like it was huge kind of hassle to move around with a bus because you don't know when it comes. You don't know like whether the bus schedule itself is correct. And that's what a lot of solo female travelers are going through. So a lot of people are asking questions about like, can I go to Jeju Island and can I travel around with a bus?
Right. And the bus ends at 10 p.m., right? It's something like that. It runs really relatively early. So that would definitely, that's a really, that is definitely, are there any others or is it just mainly the transportation?
Also, I would say like still like there are many informations which are scattered. So let's say if you go to Instagram later, you can look for like female only guest house in Jeju Island. There are tons of information, but people are not sure like, okay, are they really trustworthy? Like they need more reviews. I would say like they need more photos, more reviews, more people's comments. So still we need more information about traveling as a solo travel in Jeju Island.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I brought you a lot of those places are new, relatively new,
very new, recently made, like recently built, recently started.
Yeah. So a lot of our listeners are actually Jeju people. We do know a lot of information about Jeju. Is that something you would want us to leave reviews on, or you really prefer that it's a female solo travel going somewhere and then leaving a review?
So what we really want is engagement from the people. And I know how local people's advice is more helpful and useful.
Okay.
So for example, Alexis, will you be interested in talking about Jeju Island from your perspective?
You know, I would. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this, especially as, and I'm not going to compare the two, but I think this is a natural expansion of couch surfers in such a healthy way as a female. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah. I can't wait.
Okay. Yuri.
Cool. I have so many questions, but just because I'm so excited about this, your website and your app are literally gorgeous. Like the layout and the colors and the artwork are stunning. Who did you hire? Someone, was that your baby in your head? Did you know that that's what you wanted? It's gorgeous.
Still, we have a lot of ways to go. So we are actually updating the app. Yeah, of course. We are updating the app almost every 2 weeks or every month. We have a dedicated designer in our team, dedicated developer in our team.
Okay. It's the colors, the art. I mean, it's so eye-catching. It's so eye-catching.
Oh, can I say something?
Yeah,
so
please.
Our first initial designer, Jason, he's from Jeju. So
no way.
Yes. Oh, that's why I forgot. About it. So all those color tones, colors, everything, it started from Jason, who's a designer living in Seogwipo Island. Yes.
No way. I mean, I'm telling you, it really, like, as soon as I clicked on the web, because I wanted to do my research and kind of check out who you were, and as soon as I clicked it on, I was like, this is stunning. It's very sorry, sometimes I can't talk, but it's just so pleasing. Aesthetically, thank you, Daryl, coming through with that. Yeah.
So this guide, when do you expect it, about Jeju specifically? Do you have a date when it should be finished?
So for this female accommodation parts, it's soon to be published next week, Monday, actually.
Wow, this is so exciting.
which will be the
Wow.
first week of March. Yes.
How are people okay, so how can people get a hold of it then?
Oh, people can just
So simple.
download NomadHer app and they can subscribe and
Mhm.
they will see this Jeju section within NomadHer, guys.
I'm such an old
But-
person. I keep expecting it to be like a physical book or something. Wow.
No, no.
So,
And there's an app for Android and Apple. And like I said, and like she said, and then there's a place where you can subscribe to newsletters as well on their website. I mean, it's very user friendly. I will say that, very user friendly.
yeah, but we might need English translation because the first drop will be in Korean. So yeah, that's where we can get help.
Gotcha.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
how many? Okay, a personal question: how many languages do you speak now?
So I would say like I can kind of speak 7 languages, but I would say more like fluently, let's say 5 or 6.
Now we're running out of time.
Jeez, amazing.
But, yeah, no, that's super incredible. I want to know where the inspiration for this came from. I wanted to ask this in the beginning, but we kind of brushed by it. I want to know, like,
so many questions for
the
her.
Eureka,
So
I know
exciting.
the eureka moment or where it came from specifically.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of couch surfing, like what Alex is. And I think I traveled solo around like 45 countries. The main reason behind before when I was 18 years old was I'm coming from South Korea. The only way to go abroad is taking a ferry or taking an airplane. So I had huge fancy about living abroad, etc. And if I can tell you really directly, when I was 20 years old, I did around 20 couch surfing experience, and I had a huge bad experience in Italy from a male host living with their parents, with their dog, with over 100 positive reviews. So basically, when I was asleep, he did masturbation. He opened the door when I was sleeping, and I heard super weird sound, and I saw him. I was totally shocked. Only 20 years old. Imagine, like, what can I do at 4 a.m.?
What to do?
I think when I shouted because his mother was there, his father was there, I think he kind of tried to block my mouth, and somehow I managed to escape from the house. But how will I say it? I was traumatized for 1 year.
Absolutely.
Why? Because I couldn't say to anyone else. Like, imagine if I tell my parents I did this, they will say, "I told you not to travel solo." That's what happened.
Right.
You travel.
You should have known better. You know, that sort of attitude.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's when I started to question, are there any other women like me who cannot talk about it or who have gone through the maybe similar experience?
So many.
They are not brave enough because of the taboo of I told you not to do. And I thought the only way where I really win over him is not stopping solo traveling, because I still think it's an amazing experience of meeting people, being exposed to different culture. And I told myself, you know what? I will try to create something where it's not discrimination or really like, like only women, but I rather thought, where can I talk about this kind of thing? What
inclusive.
If there are other
Exactly.
women? Yeah, because I believe that maybe the most exclusive can be one of the most inclusive communities.
Oh, I love that. You should put that on a t-shirt or something. That's awesome.
I'm so naive. I was so shocked by that. I was like,
well, Daryl, I assume, like even when you made that, but we've talked about this, different. I like that you're the male, we bring different things to the podcast, because any woman listening to this is not going to have your reaction that you had when she just told her story. Like, everybody has a story like that. Everybody knows about someone who has a story like that. So it's, females. So it's, this website and this app is just such a great thing. I think it's really going to open so many doors for so many women.
And can I also add, a lot of our NomadHer supporters are someone like Daryl. Like, they have a wife, they have a daughter, they know as somehow like their daughter wants to go somewhere. And the first thing, really, we have so many women joining NomadHer community by saying like, oh, my husband recommended to me. Oh, my boyfriend, he's supporting.
That's awesome.
Because everyone knows that this can be story of someone that who really care.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll talk to you after this about maybe ways that we could potentially help or work
Oh,
with
we can
you.
absolutely advertise.
Yeah.
Well, and we were saying for our Jeju women listeners, we were talking pre hitting the record button, but on I started a group on Facebook called Jeju Mermaids, and it was exactly what you described. The purpose of it was because there was too many of these stories that and nobody knew how to go to the police. Nobody knew, who should I call, or they did go to the police and it was dismissed and they didn't feel like they had support. So women reaching out and making sure that other women are educated or feel supported is such an empowering thing. And it's I like it. I'm so glad you're on this podcast. Thank you. Yeah,
we are running out of time, so let's take a hard shift from that to we have a Jeju 5 that we'll ask you, which is 5 questions about Jeju that we'd like you to answer relatively as quickly as possible. Okay,
it's a bali sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, where on the island did you like to go to get away?
Oh, I love Hala Mountain for sure, without doubt.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yes, I love hiking there. It's huge, amazing.
Well, then that's gonna lead into our next question. Just to make sure, if you had to pick, would it be the coast, Hala, or an autumn?
Coast still.
Coast?
Oh, still, I love
even
it.
Though
She's a surfer girl.
Yeah, you have started surfing too, haven't you?
Yeah, I surfed everywhere in Jeju, Busan, Morocco, Bali. Maybe.
When you come down, I need to take you out into Samyang, and maybe we could do some paddle boarding.
Now, when you go to the Marts, the GS25, what is your beverage of choice? Anything. It could be cha, beer, makgeolli, soju.
I know what I want. I really love banana uyu, like banana milk.
That's awesome. It's so popular. Okay. All right. I like that answer. Okay. So what's something you know about Jeju that most other people don't? What do you think you know that other people don't?
That's an interesting question. I know actually that there is an amazing French bakery in Jeju Island. I think it's one of the best in South Korea. Even it's really hidden. So,
are you gonna tell us?
Yeah, you're gonna tell. Is this a secret?
It's
she doesn't want anyone to go. Okay, well, you're gonna have to tell. You're gonna have to tell us when we hang up. Okay.
I think it's called like 종다리 부부 or something. 종다리 부부 bakery.
Bubu, like couple.
Yeah, 부부 couple and 종다리. I think that's the name of the town. In the middle of 종다리 town, there is this bakery which is amazing.
Okay.
And our final question: if there was one thing you'd change about Jeju, what would it be?
Public transportation.
I like it.
Great.
More accessible.
Definitely
more accessible. More on time.
Preach, lady, preach.
If our listeners want to get a hold of you, where can they message you? Where could they find you?
Oh, that's a brilliant question. So far, I talked to every single NomhadHer new users who are downloading the app.
You stay busy.
So we are not using a robot. We are literally personally messaging to every single woman joining NomhadHer to know why you came, why you joined, and how we can like collaborate or support together.
So that not your Instagram account or your email, go to the app is the best way to get a hold of you.
You can really literally download the app and I'll be there. You can private message me and I can private message you usually.
I love it.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, when you come down or when we have more time, we should definitely have you on again. This is, I'm very proud of you, seeing where you came from being an intern with me at the paper to like being this, a boss of this fantastic company that's hoping to connect people and make traveling safer for women worldwide. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Alexis.